Good evening, and again, guys, welcome to another episode of GZ Sports. Your boy Jackson Bryan Randy Savage here saying vamos.
Vamos, my friend. How are you doing today?
Hey, we're doing good so far, doing good, nothing too serious at all, nothing. How are you?
Well, a little bit under the blues, like flu season. So I'm a bit sick. I'm here still, as the show must go on. Speaking of going on, well, Garnacho, that goal, man. Let me tell you, when I was watching that match, I was at a friend's place. Her her dad was in the other room. He's a Liverpool fan, by the way, just so you know. And when that goal went in, I swear to you, he jumped up and celebrated with me. I'm like, hey, hang on, aren't you on the wrong team? and, and then I remembered it was against Everton, so he's loving it. So I'm like, okay, fair enough.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that goal of the season contender, Pushkas contender. Of course, still a long way to go until the end of the season, but Alejandro Garnacho, take a bow. You might actually win a Pushkas before Leo Messi.
That's funny. That is actually funny. But let's get right into the action. It should be a short show, you guys. We always have our handles here, and you don't know where you are on right now. But we'll start simply in the very, 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 very cold weather of Manchester, England, in the Manchester crisis. Now, United, they are, technically they're not out of the Premier League yet, out of the Champions League, sorry, but they might as well be out. They're struggling in the Prem. Look, they have won, what is it, five in their last seven? But they don't look like a team that has done that. There's no continuity. There's nothing about the team that shows you that, hey, they're going forward. Now, with them possibly going out to the Champions League, and I say possibly because there is actually a chance they survive. With them going out or whatever, how do United recover from this? How can they recover from this at this point in time, you think?
Mm, As it relates to the Galatasaray match in the Champions League, it was a crisis, a defensive crisis, a goalkeeping crisis. While attackingly we weren't bad at all, I can see your point. We don't look organized on the pitch. We look sloppy at the best of times, and at the worst of times, we look like two drunken blind folks trying to walk on train tracks in a straight line. It just ain't working.
Mhm.
It's genuinely concerning to me because the Champions League is the only realistic chance we have. Well, not even realistic. It was the only chance Ten Hag had this season, a good cup run, in order to really solidify the fan base behind him. And after those shockers, and arguably it's not even the team's fault per se, down to the mistakes of a singular player, which I'll not be naming, um, has more or less cost us the campaign. As you said, there's a very slim chance we can go through, but I don't see us beating Bayern by 2 or 3 goals. And then even that, I can't see Galatasaray um, drawing with, what's the name again? Enlighten me, please.
Copenhagen.
Yes, Copenhagen. I can't see Galatasaray necessarily drawing that match with them. I said it before. I expected us to get grouped. A lot of people called me a hater for it, but look, this is called football heritage football now, guys. Although I don't like it, it's just the reality that we have to deal with right now. Ten Hag has to seriously, and I mean seriously, reevaluate the talent that he has at his disposal. Because let me be frank, Marcus Rashford, I need you, Rashcon, right? Bruno Fernandez, while I rate you and I thank you for everything you've done, you're not creating, you're not pushing the creative output that we need for a midfielder, especially a world class midfielder. That Scott McTominay, you're doing your thing, but yesterday you had a man making you do a split, but like it ain't really safe. And then Tony Martial, I've said it before, United train needs to go. He needs to go. 100% he needs to go. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but
it's a crisis. It's a crisis. And we have to find ways to avert. New recruitment could be the only way. Maybe, and I've seen a lot of fans say this and I'm in support of this version, use the academy players. It can't get any worse than it already is, to be quite frank with you. So use them. Give them chances.
yeah, and I think you can't really go any lower than where you are right now. Um, I mean, right now he's playing a right back at left back, isn't he? He's not using the emergency left back that was brought in for him. Um, for me, I look at especially that performance yesterday against Newcastle, and the thing is, from minute one, hell, before minute one, from we beat Everton, I knew this was one game United could not win. And we're not playing City, we're not playing Prime Liverpool, we're not playing Arsenal, we're playing Newcastle. But I knew this was one game we could never win. Right? It's at St. James's Park. You know what they're down there is like. It's -3 degrees. They didn't have a flight. You know, the excuses were there. You know, the excuses are there. But even with a perfect day, United weren't winning that match. And you brought up the right players, you know, Marcus Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, Scott McTominay. It just wasn't there, you know, the best player on the pitch. And you know how I feel about this guy was Harry Maguire. I mean, when Harry's telling you to do your job, you know you're fucking doing something wrong. You know that. I mean, it's Harry, right? He never usually criticizes anyone on the pitch. He just stands there. And he was shouting, barking at Marcus for the entire game. Well, the entirety of Marcus's game. You know, I don't know what Pelistri needs to do to start games. I mean, Eric has said he's a fantastic impact player. I don't get why he wasn't used as an impact yesterday. Um, I know it's a very physical game. You know, Joe Linton and those people in the midfield are very strong. Pelistri's a small guy, but I mean, what was there to lose? You know, it was going to be difficult. He said it in the press conference afterwards that we were happy to stay in the game at halftime. So you knew that it wasn't going to happen. So just throw the kids on, you know. How McTominay starts, I have no idea. I mean, Hannibal should have gotten the run out in this match. I mean, you just needed someone to be tackling. You know, Menu, he did well. He did very well, actually. He was at the center of all of the creative forces of United forward. You know, and I must say, um, it's bad that a club the stature of Manchester United needs an 18-year-old to save the season. I don't think that's how it's supposed to go, but that's where we are now. You know, and as you said, UCL, based on form right now, you can't see Galatasaray drawing with Copenhagen. I can't see Copenhagen know that they only need a point to go through. They know that because everybody sees United probably losing to Bayern Munich. But Galatasaray know that they have to win to go through, and they don't want to play Europa League. So we're gonna have it's gonna be a fantastic game in Denmark. Yeah, I think it will be in Denmark. And then, you know, at that point, United have to hope they put on their best ever defensive performance against the Bayern Munich side that will be as fresh as can be because, you know, they didn't play this week. You know, they'll only have the one game next week. And
Yeah,
between
the
that,
matches were like postponed in Munich, weren't they?
yeah, they were postponed to snow. You know, what? I mean, December's just starting, man. What the hell is snow falling for? But, you know, seriously, it's going to be a very difficult match. If United can win that game somehow and the Copenhagen match ends in a draw, I'm telling you could say United would win the treble because no team would be that freaking lucky. They could win the Champions
Bro,
League because no team is that
bro.
lucky. Do you know how
bro.
lucky there is a? I think there's about a 2% chance for United to go through, and if they're that lucky to get that 2%, why would you not think they're gonna win it all? I mean, this is not good. This is not supposed to happen. It's not, right?
I mean, a 2% chance we go through, but we all know what's gonna happen in the next rounds of the competition. He's gonna make Rashford play, and he's gonna make all the wrong people start again, and then we'll be put in a similar position at the end of maybe the quarters or so, where we quite physically cannot go past that point. Um, as you said, credit is due where credit is due for the youngsters who came out and showed seasoned Manchester United players how seasoned Manchester United players should play. And I think that it's very. You said something about a teenager saving our season. I remember a certain international, Jamaican English international, with a big number 7 in his back, doing that a couple years back. But of course, he's the man that shall not be named yet. He was
Okay.
doing it. And it's only acceptable when you're scoring goals for them. Not when you have to put in last ditch tackles to ensure that your team doesn't go 2-0, 3-0, 4-0 down. It's just not good. And then you have Onana. Moving on. Jackson, to you.
Man, listen, Onana's not been bad. Like, he's made mistakes. I will not dispute that. He's made mistakes in goalkeeping, but he's not. How may I say this? So he's let in goals, but he's not letting howlers, right? He's just intentionally let them in. It's not like
Bro,
one or
look at
two.
Galatasaray game.
No,
That
no, no, no.
Galatasaray game?
Yeah, that one I know, right? That's good. But I don't know if you remember the game. It was, what was it, the 2019-2020 season before COVID, actually, before COVID. We were playing against Watford, and Sarr hit the ball into the ground under Luke Shaw's leg. It bounced up, and De Gea jumped, had his hands like this, and it went through. Like, nothing's been that bad, apart from that one mistake in Galatasaray, and even so, that's 20 plus games with just one huge clanger. So I'm not having the bad talk on Anana. I'm not having it. He's still got the most clean
Well,
sheets in the Prem somehow.
well, that one little banger maybe have just cost us Champions League or European football in general, you
I don't
know?
mind European football. I,
So,
I don't want to play Thursday nights. I can't take that. Not
bro,
down.
but right now, Ten Hag needs all the money he can get in order to bring in new talent. I mean, if you're not going to attract talent with the massive wages that you're giving them, you're certainly not attracting them through trophies. So I don't know what else he's going to do. Maybe start a Make a Wish Foundation? Maybe sign Kylian Mbappe on loan for 3 months?
You know, I don't know if you ever remember that, because we should actually move on. But I don't know if you remember, there was a video that came out in last season when we were high flying and we just won the Carabao Cup and we were still winning games. And Ten Hag was signing a shirt, I think it was for a young fan. He was like 6 or 7 years old, and he said, "Sign Mbappe." And Eric looked at him and said, "Do you have any pennies for me?" And right now we're looking at it, and we are broke. Like, he openly said we're broke to the child. I can't believe no one picked that up back then. But yeah, we have to move on for United. They have to play Chelsea next, which everybody should normally beat Chelsea, but we saw Brighton get robbed today. How about we move on to their city neighbors, right? Man City, the third straight game dropping points, and the next match they have is against Aston Villa. Villa are one of only two teams in the league still with 100% win record at home. Um, Leon Bailey scored today for Villa, which is annoying. Um,
Hey.
it's very annoying. Ollie Watkins is in form as per usual. McGinn and Louise look like Keenan Scholes at sometimes, bro. They're forming a good partnership in the midfield, and the defense. I don't know what more you can say about it. And then you have Martinez in goal. City will be without Jack Grealish, but which doesn't really make any difference really. They don't need him. But they'll be without Rodri as he picked up another yellow card. I think if the league was fair, by this time Rodri should normally have about 3 red cards if it was fair, because he always gets away with 2 yellow card tackles. But he won't be there against Villa at Villa Park. 3 games, no wins for City. No one's talking about it. They're not named United, so no one cares. If City fail to beat Villa, fail to beat Villa, what do you measure their title chances at that point? Because they're 3 points off, and now they're even slipped behind Liverpool.
Okay, so if you're asking me this, I think the main reason why, firstly, I should say the main reason why they're not been given much stick is because of some of the refereeing decisions and the fact that they're not really scoring because of any defensive mistakes nor mishaps per se, but they're just being conceded on just because of genuinely all round good football. If they were to lose against Aston Villa, I'd say their title chances are still 75% to 25 in their favor. Um, because it's City. We know we saw it last year. They only led the league for 2 weeks and ended up winning the league. It's a battle of attrition. This is not a blitzkrieg type of battle. This is a battle of who can last the longest. And Pep Guardiola consistently over the past few seasons have shows that he can last the longest in I'm sorry, I mean he can last the longest in a title charge. So
The hell is
you
he?
know, I
Bro, you
said he can last the
feeling
longest.
okay? You feeling okay?
No, I'm sick, but he can last the longest in a title charge. Out of all of the big six managers, he's the most competent, perhaps the one with the most experience, the one with the shiniest head, which automatically makes him the best.
I mean, I don't even know how to respond to that. Anyway, next week, guys, we will be ranking the Premier League managers, albeit if no one gets sacked, which I hope a couple managers do. But I'm not in charge. We'll be ranking them 20 through to number one. I've done my list. I have not shared my list, so not everyone knows what my list is. But I'm just going to say that the top three does not include Guardiola. That's all I'm gonna say. And we're moving straight to the next topic,
What?
cliffhanger. And we did mention teenage stars earlier. You're gonna follow on. Right, we did mention
Bro.
teenage stars, right? In the league, and we're not just talking Premier League. We're talking worldwide. I did attach a link in the description about a few teenage stars I think could make it, like Ballon d'Or level or close to UEFA Team of the Season type level. We saw Garnacho, we saw the goal he scored, we saw Kobe Mainoo control at midfield against Everton. We've seen Lewis Miley. He's done it against Bournemouth. He's done it against Chelsea. He did it against PSG, and he's done it against Man United. Fantastic player, 17, 6'1". I think 6'1" or 6'2", one of it, but he's over 6 foot. There were some other ones I wanted to speak to you about. Francesco Camada, I think you know him. He plays for AC Milan, the youngest ever Serie A debutant, 15 years old.
Yes,
Um,
yes, I'm aware of him.
we already know Warren Emery. Unfortunately, he is injured until the new year. The French international for PSG, Lamine Yamal, and
Hey, the GOAT himself, man.
one I will bring to, because I don't think you actually know. Shut up. I don't think you actually know the final one here. His name is Davian Kimbrough. He's a half Mexican, half American youngster. And by youngster, I'm not going to tell you his age, but he was born in 2010, and he's already made his debut.
Wait, wait.
So I
Hold
know
up,
you
hold
can
up,
do
hold up.
calculations. He was born,
This brother is 1 year older than my little sister, and made his debut.
and he's already playing. He does play in the USL, but he's playing nonetheless. Apparently he could score goals like crazy, so they just promoted him. He played one game and he hasn't been in the first team since. But to be 13 and playing your first game, well, all I'm saying is, out of all of the players that I have mentioned, right? Menu, Ganacho, Kimbro, Kamadra, Yamal, Zaire Emery, Miley. And there are others, but these are just the ones I want to use. Which one do you think has the brightest future? The brightest, for career wise, not just individually. Does that make sense?
Okay, okay. In the terms of a career, I'll go with, obviously, because I'm a little bit biased, to be honest, but it's not Garnacho. I'd say I'd go with Lamine Yamal. He's playing for the Catalonian Giants, Barca. Visca Barça y Visca Catalonia. Um, he has a bright future ahead of him. He's one of the most outstanding breakout stars, not only in Barcelona, but also in the Spanish national team. Not a lot of people can say that they've played for their country and have absolutely dominated while playing for them at such a young age. Yamal is a prodigy. He's the definition of a prodigy. And he has an afro as well, so he's got that going for him. Um, I see Lamal, God willing, inshallah, without any injuries, any issues hindering his career, he eventually becomes a future Ballon d'Or winner and one of the top all-time scorers in La Liga history. Of course, I don't know if he'll make up Messi or Ronaldo numbers, but I certainly expect him to beat the likes of maybe, maybe even rivaling Luis Suarez. You know, I expect him to be that quality of a player for Barcelona. Of course, he doesn't play the same position,
Mhm.
but he will be a breakout star. The other option is Alejandro Garnacho, as obviously. But the problem I have with Garnacho is that Garnacho doesn't have a brand. And I'll go deep into that. Garnacho wants to be a world class player. Yes, you can't be a world class player and then not be marketable. Garnacho right now is not marketable. And I know I'm reasoning like a Ronaldo fan. The logic that I'm spewing is a Ronaldo fan logic, but Garnacho needs celebration and he needs humility. He needs to understand that he's not a world class star right now. He can be, but he has a lot to learn if he's going to save anyone. And I stole that from Avatar the Last Airbender. I don't care what anybody wants to say. I completely stole that. But
Wow.
still, both of them have immense quality. They're certainly better than me. And damn, so, I can't really dishevel them. Every player on that list has quality, especially Kamada. I've been seeing him, the Japanese man himself. Well, Japanese child himself, because he's not even legally a man yet. So
Exactly.
it'll be interesting. Football is in good hands, though. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and hopefully, I hope they can have careers like Messi, like Ronaldo, like Zlatan, even, and I mean, lengthy careers, not just playing for 8 years and then you're done, but playing for that. I mean, look, Ronaldo's done, he's 38 now, so 20 years. Messi's close to doing 20 years, and we know how long Zlatan did. I mean, Zlatan scored in 4 different decades. He scored in the ninth. Wait, no, I'm kidding. Yes, no, he did the 90s, the noughties, the 2010s, and the 2020s. He scored in 4 different decades. So hopefully they take care of their bodies, and we can have some good football going forward for the future. Just the last topic, local topic. We have to bring in some local things. Um, Glenmuir High have won the Champions Cup. It's basically our version of the Carabao Cup. I don't even rank it as high as FA Cup, but you know what I mean. They beat Clarendon College yesterday, 3 goals to 2. Coincidentally, that's Clarendon's first loss of the season, and the season started in September. It ends this month, so they are in the Costa Cup final. Clarendon lost yesterday, and they're gonna play Glenmuir in the Da Costa Cup final again. Um, do you think they can overturn it? Do you think they can be the team that is Jamaican rural area champions, or does Glenmuir just have their ticket already?
I think that this season has been a perfect reason as to why stats don't really matter. Because we've seen results that we never expected. I never expected Clarendon College to be beat by Glenmuir yesterday. I mean, we know Clarendon College is if not the best school in schoolboy football currently for the last couple of years, arguably one of, I should say. And you know what? I'm actually backing them to beat Glenmuir. I'm backing them to beat Glenmuir 2-1. Of course, I know I'm putting a lot of faith in them, but it's like Barcelona Femini playing against the Reggae Boys. You'd expect the Femini to win, right? Let's be real here. So, like,
Oh my
it's not too outlandish to say I'd back one of the most best teams historically, of certainly for the past 5, 6, 7 years in schoolboy football being Clarendon College. Glenmore, hats off to them. They've done amazingly. However, I think Clarendon College will just steal the victory. Maybe 2-1 victory to Clarendon College.
2-1. Well, I hope Clarendon does win. Lenny Hyde, we all know him. Great. I'll tell you, Clarendon are the only team in rural football that actually play football. None of this hoofball crap. They actually play football, building out, pressing right, playing in triangles. They actually play football. And it would be a
Yeah, they,
travesty if they don't actually win this final. But
yeah, they excel at tactics. It's like a Guardiola City, you know?
yeah, I mean, you could call it tiki taka. It's not that fast, but it's nearly there. It is nearly there. Hopefully, they give him, more than 2 seasons, as normal coaches do get in this country. But we are gonna go away for a quick break. For weeks we haven't had it, but the Savage Slaughterhouse will be back. So stay tuned. We will be right there.
True. Hola, vamos. Welcome back. Welcome, guys. Again to the GZ Sports Transfer Roundup, aka the Savage Slaughterhouse with your boy. And the clinically ill, Randy Savage, accompanied by the one, the only, the man, the myth, the proverbial legend himself, Jackson Bryan. How you doing, Jackson?
Bro, well, you already know. And just finished actually watching a NFL game. It was crap. I probably should bleach my eyes out after watching it. Never gonna ever watch the Jets or the Falcons ever again. Tell you that for free.
Hey, the Jets are a good team, man. Yeah.
Piss off.
But
It's,
yeah, we're talking about the wrong type of football. I know we've just only talked about the future
Mhm.
stars, but I like to talk about the conditions and circumstances surrounding some future stars. Some names familiar, other names you'd want to burn me at the stake for bringing them up, and in other names you love him. Starting off with the most loved character in Manchester, England, since Robbie Charlton himself, Mason Green, Mason Greenwood. Um, Greenwood has been doing excellently at Hetafe on loan from Manchester United, following I call it Project Greenwood incident in early, Project Greenwood incident. Under fire, he was forced to go out on loan to Hetafe. He's been playing really well, He's been finding himself. He's been posting on social media now. He looks genuinely happy. I know a lot of United fans want him back, but in fear of the larger representation of the woke culture, I think that that's preventing them from bringing him in. Jackson, two clubs are interested in Mason Greenwood as we speak, both from La Liga, one being Sevilla. Of course, they're not exactly known for their human rights, and the other being Valencia, which, to be completely fair, is a very, very, very solid team overall. Both of them. Jackson, my question to you is, if Tenor cannot integrate him into this team, if they deem it too big of a risk to bring him back, do you see him succeeding at any one of these teams if he were to go?
Well, of course, he's a generational talent. He's the best football player in the world. I tell you that. Um, Mason to stay in Spain though, it would take some getting used to because it's already hard to see the Getafe matches. He's learning a bit of Spanish. His family, which is his fiance, I don't think there was a wedding yet. His fiance and his child, they're in Spain. They're loving life. But I have to actually expect that because even I watch a Beckham documentary and everybody love life when they go to Spain. So maybe we should all go to Spain at one point in our lives. But yeah, no. Um, Back on track. Valencia or Sevilla? I mean, look, he has a very good chance of winning trophies at Sevilla because they're gonna go into the Europa League. That's their trophy. That is their domestic trophy basically. Um, while Valencia, it would be good stability and good challenging, but I don't see it. I don't see that working out. No, that's if he's not reintegrated back at Old Trafford or at Carrington. Sorry. Um, I watched United yesterday and I said we need somebody on the right wing who can cut in and shoot. And then I remembered Mason and I was like, but idiots don't want him to play football for us because they'll be offended. And I'm like, if there's no case, move the hell on, guys. Like seriously, they're and I always reference this to music because it's a great reasoning. Um, I don't think I'll get in trouble for saying this, but Chris Brown was 17. Let's put the age there. He was 17 and beat the shit out of Rihanna, didn't he? But women still love his music. Women still love him. Women still gyrate to him.
Yeah, you
They
bunch of fucking hypocrites.
things. Yeah, I mean Mason, based on time of incident, was 18 for about a month and a half. So what is his rules separate from Chris Brown's or what? Because they're both black guys. They were both teenagers, kids at the time, with girls they were with for some time before. What the hell is the difference? Like there are
I
players
think
who are
it's just
much
with female math. I think it's just female math because one is sexually appealing and the other looks like a German Shepherd. I'll let y'all decide which one is which.
wow.
Of course,
German
Chris Brown is
Shepherd,
the German Shepherd.
Chris Brown, bro.
Just being.
German Shepherd, good, bro. What are you talking about? What are you talking
All
about?
right, fine, 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 fine,
But
fine, fine.
listen, we'll get more in depth with all of this later down in the month. It's still early, if because I think his loan actually expires January. So I think it's either going to be extended or he's coming back. So we'll have to keep monitoring this sense. I mean, Zhao's already been texting, so we'll get all that news soon as possible. But look, if he stays in Spain, I'll watch La Liga. It's always hard to find them, but I'll watch La Liga.
Yes, guys, if you want pirated websites, you can visit us on the GZ's. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Yeah,
I'm
bro.
not going to be playing any of
Listen,
y'all.
we might even start streaming and doing our own commentary. But we can't do it live because of copyright. So you'd have to hit us up to get those games.
Yep, for sure, for sure. But moving on from the greatest player of all time to one of the brightest talents in football currently, Victor Roque, a young man from South America that actually blood takes my breath away. No homo, he takes my breath away, right? Signing for
El
Barcelona,
Tigre.
supposed to join Barcelona. Jackie, very briefly, what do you think will be his impact on the Catalan giants of Barca?
I think it wouldn't be a massive impact like some people might think. I think Vitor Roque does work. Him joining in, you have Yamal on one side, and well, I guess you would use Ferran Torres on the other side, or Joao Felix. You can phase Lewandowski out, and you'll have your number 9 ready. I've always said Classico will be fun in the future because it's gonna be Vitor Roque versus Endrick. Back in the days of what was it, Romario versus Ronaldo. Those were epic times. Two Brazilians on both sides. But I think it will be a good impact. If he does be allowed to join, this whole FFP thing that I have to look out for. So if he is allowed to join in January, then that would be great for Barcelona. That means that they will try to register even more players. They can get other players out. But this would be a really good thing for Barcelona more than him. Actually, it would be better for Barca.
Excuse me. Okay, I understand. I'm sorry if y'all heard me sneezing in the background. As I said, I am sick. But yeah, moving on from that, from one sickness to another sickness, and what I'm referring to is not a bad form of sickness. It's like no, I'm not gonna say. I'm not saying that. I have been warned that I'm not saying that. Moving on. to the most handsome man in Manchester, and it goes to the name of Scott Park. I'm joking. I'm joking. Julian Alvarez, the devil himself, and not the red one, has
I
been
mean,
linked
if he was
to
a devil, he'd
Manchester.
be great.
Sorry, has been linked to Real Madrid, the Manchester City forward, not getting the game time that he wants, certainly not getting what he deserves. And many believe that Real Madrid, in the absence of a certain Kylian Mbappe, will be going for the forward. He has a release cost of about 45 million, substantially less than what Real Madrid would need to pay for Mbappe, while being the same quality striker, So I don't know. What do you think of this? I've seen multiple reports on this, by the way. So this is somewhat credible.
Yeah, just 1 second. I have to actually send this message, bro. But Julian Alvarez, as I said, should have won the Ballon d'Or. He's completed football, and what better club to actually be when you complete football? Actually, Camavinga has no, Camavinga hasn't. He only means the World Cup and the Euros. Has Julian won the Copa America by any chance? Do you know?
I'm not 100% sure if he was even in the team, but I
That's the
think he
thing. That's what
might
I'm.
have. He won the Libertadores. He won the Libertadores. We know that. He's won everything in
Mm-hmm.
Europe thus far.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to look. I know he won the World Cup though. I know he won the World Cup. I know he won those trophies, but I'm not sure if he was a part of the team at the time. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But Julian going to Real Madrid. I mean, can you imagine that front three? Alvarez, Vini, Rodrigo, constantly swapping. I mean, they're all the same player. When you look at it, they're all the same player. Pace wise, they'll be able to get in behind. It would be horrendous for defenders to try and work with. And in case they don't get Mbappe, which I firmly believe Real Madrid won't. Um, but Julian Alvarez ain't a bad backup. I mean, it's like, I couldn't get this Ferrari 458, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get a Lamborghini Urus. It's not a bad downgrade, but it's good enough to be a number one choice. So, no, Julian Alvarez. If from what I know, and I'm stepping on your toes, but from what I know, Madrid are not doing any business in January. They're gonna hold that off. They're focused on clearing their debt, which funnily enough, their debt is only 46 million. So I don't know why you need a month to do that, but I'll trust Don Florentino, and we'll see if they actually do make moves in January. But from what I know, they're not making any for the upcoming month.
All right. Well, no, I didn't actually say he'd go in January. I was saying that he could transfer there between January and the summer. That's what I was implying. But moving on from Julian and from one savior to the spawn of the devil himself to the man that could have been the next Ryan Giggs, to the man that could have been the next Andrei Shevchenko. I mean, for Manchester United. To the man that could have been the next Iron Robin. To a man nowadays that is no better than Anthony Gordon. I am referring to the man, the myth, not a legend, Jadon Sancho.
Not.
Jadon Sancho, after his plight and his overall horrible situation, that in part has been caused by him and the manager. I'm not going to blame either of them outright. Rumor has it that he's going to be on the move in January, actually, whether it's on a loan or it's on a permanent fee. Manchester United want about 40 for him. I don't see us getting anywhere near that for him. Maybe 20 or 25 would be more realistic. But then there's the obvious option of a loan deal. My question to you is, I've seen reports. Do you think Jadon Sancho could be loaned back to Borussia Dortmund to try to find his form again? Or do you think that that deal is out of the question?
I think that's out of the question. Borussia Dortmund, they already, well, look, from German sources, they can't really afford the wages. Now, if wages are shared, and this is any club who takes him on loan, whether it is Juventus or Borussia Dortmund or any other club in Germany or Italy or even Spain. But United would have to be ending up paying about 70% of his wages, which they don't want to do anymore. They just want him gone. It's over. He has disrespected the club, you know? Um, and I mean, look, you could fake an apology and play football. If you really care about football, you just fake an apology and play. Like, there are many people who have faked apologies. I guarantee you, Marcus faked his apology last season when he was late. Simple. You just do it, get back in the team, play football, and that's it. No one bats an eye. Um, in January, yeah, loan deal is what people are hearing the most. United want between 40-50 million pounds for him, but no one's paying that and the wages that he's currently on, which I don't know why he's on 350 grand a week. Um, the most logical thing would be for him to move on loan. But what I've always been saying was there is a way to absolutely screw over Jadon Sancho. Now, one thing you can't do is reject a loan move as a player. If a club says, yo, you're going on loan, you're going on loan because your wages are still going to get paid. Now, what if certain Saudi Arabian clubs come in? They don't have 60 million
Mhm.
now, but they'll have it in the summer. Loan deal, they pay his wages, they get even 60 million in June or May, whichever month it will go in effect, and then he's gone. Not a dime spent for United. That's a perfect way to screw him over. I know he doesn't want to go, but he can't reject the loan move. And when an obligation is met legally, he has to go, no matter what. So, I hope that's what happens, but United are competent enough to screw a player over like that. They have to have like 1 year on their contract for them to do that shit.
Yeah, I realize that is very true. But yeah, Sancho needs to either come back to the team very soon, or he just needs to pack his bags and leave Carrington. Because let's be real here, if I'm getting £350,000 a week to sit down and look pretty on a bench, I take it because I'm not an athlete. You are one of the brightest stars of this sport, and you're acting like a little child, right? Apologize, fake the apology. Tenak probably won't be there for next year or so. You can match up 51 weeks of playing underneath Ten Hag, and that's not even that much. But yeah, guys, that'll be it today for the Jesus was Transfer Roundup. It's been your boy, Clinically Ill Randy, Savage, accompanied by the man, the myth, the legend, Jackson Bryan himself. And with that, we'd like to say vamos.
Yeah, vamos. As I said, transfer window is opening up. We did have the deadline day show last. Was it last? No, what the hell am I talking about? It was in September. What was it? September 2nd was the final day of the transfer window for the last couple hours. We're looking to continue to do that in January as well. So, before you go, United, they want a centre back. Jean-Claude Todibo, Antonio Silva, Edmund Tapsoba. Who would be a pick?
Um, shoot. Oh, wow. Okay. I'd actually go with John Clement Todibo. He's been on my radar for some time. Now I've wanted him ever since I've first watched him play. Um, Top Soba is really good. I'm not really familiar with the other guy's game, but it has to be Todibo for me, man. Like, come on, come on. He's like a young Rafa Varane without the injuries. I
No,
mean, come on.
I mean, makes sense. But we'll watch if Sir Jim Radcliffe does come in. He owns Nice. We'll see if we can get one of those cheeky 10 million or 10 quid deals done, and we'll
You
see you
mean the
guys.
RB? You mean the Red Bull deals?
Just like Red Bull, man. Just like Red Bull. We'll see you guys next week. We'll have, as I said, ranking the 20 managers in the Premier League, and again, link in the description. You'll see the article on the future stars. Vamos.